This is Module 2, Lesson 9, Multiplying Decimals. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to estimate our product, and then we're going to solve using the standard algorithm. So first we rewrite our problem to make this easier. When we rewrite it, you should notice that we do not line up the decimals. We only line up decimals when we add and subtract. You also should remember that when you have a whole number, there is a decimal back here. Even though we don't see it, there is a decimal in the number. So when we estimate to the largest place value, and since the number in the box is a 3, it does nothing to the 7, so it stays a 7. The number in the box is a 1, it makes this 40. When we're rounding the decimal numbers, we don't use any of the place values to the right of the decimal when we're estimating. So this comes out, we use our 0 rule, and 7 times 4 is 28, and we put the 0 back in. So my answer should be somewhere near 280. Now we're going to use our standard algorithm. We start by going 1 times 8 is 8, 1 times 3 is 3, and 1 times 7 is 7. We're done with the 1, so now we're going to move back to our new line, and we're going to put a 0 because we're starting in the tens place, and 4 times 8 is 32, we carry the 3, 4 times 3 is 12, 12 plus 3 is 15, carry the 1, and 4 times 7 is 28, plus 1 is 29. Now we're going to add all of this together. And we end up with 30,258. When I look over at 280, I know that these two numbers are nowhere near each other, so I have to ask myself, did I make a mistake, or did I just forget to put my decimals in? And in this case, I forgot to put my decimals. So I'm going to see I have 2 jumps in. The decimals on the outside here doesn't jump at all. I have to make 2 jumps in. So my answer is 302 and 58 hundredths. And now I compare my two whole numbers. Is 302 close to 280? Yes, it is. So that is a reasonable answer. I'm going to try another one. So now we're going to look at this new problem right here. And on this new problem right here, we're going to rewrite it. And the first thing we're going to do again is that we're going to estimate. This has a decimal in it, so this estimates to 8. This rounds to 100. And the estimate for this problem is 800. Now we're going to try to solve. 6 times 8 is 48. Carry the 4. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 4 is 20. 8 times 8 is 64, plus 2 is 66. I put a 0. I start the next row with the next number. 2 times 6 is 12. Carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. And 2 times 8 is 16. Now I go to the final row. I have to put 2 zeros because I'm in my hundreds place again. 1 times 6 is 6, 1 times 2 is 2, and 1 times 8 is 8. I'm going to add it all up. And once again, I'm going to ask myself, is 105,728 close to 800? Not at all. I believe my math might be right. I should probably double check my decimals. There's 2 jumps. So 2 jumps. And now I'm going to ask myself, is 1,057 close to 800? That's close to 800. So it seems like a reasonable answer. We're going to do one last one together. And we're going to rewrite the problem. And once again, we're going to do our estimate first. This time the 2 tells the 8 to stay alone, but I have to write down all of that before the decimal, so that turns that into an 80. And this is a 60. And when I multiply these two together, I get 48 and put my 2 zeros back in, so it's 4,800 that I'm looking for my answer to be near to be reasonable. So now I'm going to multiply. Start my new row. And now I'm going to say, well, 519,813 is not close to 4,800. But let me check again with the decimal situation. Two jumps, two jumps. 5,198 is close to 4,800, so that is a reasonable estimate.